Hey, what's up? It's Patrick. It's Rose via Fire. And I pray this message reaches who it needs to reach. So let's talk about get lost in God's presence, you know? And this message is basically um, to basically encourage the followers of God, man, to just get back into God's presence, man. Get lost in God's presence. I feel as though God's presence is it's almost like a world, man, that you gotta just get lost into. It's like a world, man. And sometimes it's like we gotta put the worldly things to the side, like time, Sometimes you gotta put time to the side, forget about time, and just get lost in God's presence, man. Because sometimes we just be so confined in time and, oh, I gotta do this by this time and I gotta do that by that time. And sometimes it's just good to just get away and just really get lost in God's presence. Because I feel like God's presence is like a world, man. And it's like a world filled with so many different things, filled with healing, filled with peace, joy. You know what I'm saying? God's presence is a world filled with so many different things, man. And I feel like we gotta just, sometimes it's like, I feel like we almost gotta forget about time, if that makes sense. Like, don't even worry about how much time passed when you are in God's presence. Don't even be worried about time and all this and that. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you gotta just forget about time and just get lost in God's presence, because we be so caught up in time and all these things about life and this and that. And sometimes when you can, you know what I'm saying, when you are able to, whenever you are able to, man, it's like you gotta just get lost in God's presence and just put time to the side, man. Forget about time. Forget about all these things, man, because God created time, bruh. You know what I'm saying? I feel like get lost in God's presence, and God's presence is like a world, right? Let's say God's presence is like a world. And in that world, time doesn't even exist, bro. Like, it's like eternal, bro. Like, God's presence is like eternal. And I'm just using this as an example. Let's say God's presence is like a world where time doesn't even exist. It's like eternal. Like, sometimes you just gotta step into God's presence and be like, man, I'm just going not even worry about time right now. I'm just gonna really spend time within God's presence. I'm not even gonna be worried about time. I'm not even gonna be worried about all these extra things. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna spend time with God, man, and I'm not even gonna worry about time. You know what I'm saying? And one problem with us as a people is that we be lost in all of the wrong things. You know what I'm saying? We be lost in so many things, bro. So many distractions. Some people out there is lost in relationships. They lost in clout. Some people lost in fame. Some people lost in family. Some people lost in all types of different things in life. You know what I'm saying? But what about if we get lost in God's presence? And the word lost, when I say get lost in God's presence, I just mean just don't even worry about time, bro. Don't even worry about all these extra things. That's what I mean. Get lost. Like, forget about time. Forget about all these extra things and just really focus on God's presence. You know what I'm saying? Step into that world of God's presence and just, you know what I'm saying? Just spend that time with God, bro. Because if you look at majority of people, man, it's like we be spending our time getting lost in all of the wrong things. Some of us, we be lost in the wrong types of entertainment. We be lost in the wrong types of, we be lost in listening to the wrong types of people. We be lost in like the wrong types of music, you know what I'm saying? The wrong types of activities, you know, like all types of things that we be lost in. But how about we start getting lost in God's presence and really like forget about all these other distractions and really just, you know what I'm saying, just get into this world of God's presence and just be free basically, you know. And I just wanted to just do this message, like get lost in God's presence, so you could really like experience God's presence. You could experience being in God's presence, because man, we're living in a world, bro, where everybody's just gone behind something, bro. They gone behind this celebrity. They gone behind this TV show. They gone behind this actor. They gone behind this actress. Like mentally, people is zoned out. They are like, they minds is blank, bro. They gone, bro. They in a trance with these different celebrities, these different witches. Some people minds is gone behind these fake friends and fake family, bro. They are mentally zoned out. And it's as though they are lost in all these different things, you know. But when you get lost in God's presence, that's when you find yourself. I'm going to repeat that one more time. When you get lost in God's presence, right? Instead of getting lost in all of these different things, when you get lost in God's presence, that's when you find yourself. Because when you get lost in God's presence, you're not really lost. You're really finding yourself. You know what I'm saying? When you get lost in God's presence, you're not really lost. You are really just finding yourself. You are finding out who you are. You are finding out more about God. You're learning more about the truth. So when you get lost in God's presence, you're not really lost. That's why the word lost, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to this topic, the word lost is really like, when I say get lost in God's presence, you hear the word lost. Now, in this scenario, man, it's like, that's when you find yourself, because now you are getting lost in God's presence now. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to God, man, God be breaking all types of rules, bro. Like sometimes you can't even use the English language or like explain God and just like language, bro. Like God is too big. Like you can't even explain his greatness in words and this and that. That's why you could take a word such as lost, but when it comes to getting lost in God's presence, then it becomes a positive thing, because God is too big. Like even language cannot contain him. Like English and all this stuff cannot contain him. Because usually when you get lost, it's a bad thing. But when you get lost in God's presence, that's when you find yourself. Because God is too big, bro. Like God breaks all the rules. God is, you know what I'm saying? It's like God's ways is just like the cheat code, bro. It's like he's too big, bro. So I just encourage people, man, that we get lost in God's presence, because that's where we're gonna find ourselves, man. You know, we get lost in this world of God's presence. And that's basically all I wanted to talk about, man. Peace.